Thank you for taking some time for yourself. All of us have had the experience of sitting down in a comfortable chair at the end of a very long day and feeling the support of the cushions beneath us. And I'm sure you've felt how comforting it is when you can finally just let your shoulders drop, haven't you? And you remember how it feels when you step from a cold, windy street into a perfectly warm room. And the longer you sit in that warmth, the more comfortable your muscles feel, don't they? And so your mind naturally remembers what that feeling of letting go is like. Perfect. And you can wonder what it feels like as your eyes become heavier. Can you notice a slight change in the weight of your eyelids? And I wonder if it will surprise you when they close completely, or whether your breathing will just slow down all on its own. It's so nice to know that you already know how to relax without needing to understand exactly how. You do it. Now, of course, I don't know for sure what you're experiencing, but perhaps you're becoming aware of how busy the world out there can be. I wonder if you've ever noticed how many loud, shouting voices there are out there in the world today. Voices on the screens, voices on the internet, people speaking with absolute aggressive certainty about hidden plots, secret networks, and grand conspiracies. Perhaps beginning to notice how, at times like this, some people enjoy trying to figure it all out. But for you, I wonder if you'll be curious as you notice how your cognitive mind handles that noise. Can you notice the beginning of that instant replay starting up in your own head when those certain voices blast? I'd like you to let yourself become more and more aware of that mental courtroom. Perhaps noticing how your mind immediately begins to gather evidence, rehearsing the arguments, desperately trying to find one logical flaw to prove them wrong. Without realizing it, you might find your brain looping, that if you can't find a way to argue back right now, then everything they are shouting, they will continue to believe it is true. And you can wonder what that exhausting internal debate is really trying to do. It is almost as though your mind feels it's standing at a chaotic crossroad, where the inability to instantly disapprove the noise feels like an immediate danger? Perfect. I would like you to discover something about the rules running inside that internal dialogue. I wonder if you'll be interested in learning how, without realizing it, you've been running an exhausting trial inside your own head. Because when those rigid, unyielding political dogmas or conspiracy theories shout at you, a voice inside your head begins to replay them, looping them over and over. A voice that probably says, if you can't prove them wrong, they'll keep thinking they are right. I wonder if you're curious about the fact that you've felt a strong compulsion to find the flaw in their arguments, because your anxiety believes if you cannot completely debunk the nightmare, they are forced to accept it as absolute truth. It's kind of like being a defense attorney who isn't allowed to sleep until every ghost in the room is disproved. And while you wonder that, I want you to discover that you can actually take a giant step back, so that it's almost as though you're floating up out of that courtroom entirely, safely drifting up into a cool, quiet gallery, looking down at that old argument from a great distance. It isn't important to stay down there in the noise. It isn't necessary to participate. All that really matters right now is this distance. With your permission, I'd like you to have a new experience. I want you to enjoy this experience in a way that meets your needs. I want you to appreciate the fact that you can choose to simply drop the briefcase full of evidence. I knew someone who experienced doing exactly that. They spent years trying to disapprove every shadow until one day they realized they could just allow themselves to say, I don't know, and walk out of the courthouse. And I think you're going to enjoy being surprised at how naturally, how easily that burden can just slip off your shoulders right now. Let a deep, clearing breath empty out your lungs and feel the sheer profound relief of resigning from a job you never applied for. You cannot pass a verdict on smoke. And I wonder if you'll be surprised to discover that an unproven story is just an unproven story. If someone tells you the ocean is made of grape juice, you cannot immediately prove them wrong. The ocean is still just the beautiful deep blue ocean. The lack of an answer does not make their chaos correct. Ambiguity is not a trapdoor. It is just an empty space where nothing is happening yet. And that's just fine. One of the first things you can become aware of is the beautiful stillness in the grey area. I'd like you to begin allowing yourself to take a special kind of enjoyment in your ability to sit comfortably in the unknown. It's very positive and comforting to know that your conscious mind can enable you to look back at the memories of those late night internet spirals or those tense family dinners and see them in a completely restructured way. Imagine looking at those old memories now, but it's almost as though the audio has been turned down completely. The shouting voices of those conspiracy advocates look kind of like silent old actors in a funny movie. You can see your past self just shrugging and smiling and turning away to pour a glass of water. And as that occurs, you really can't help but notice a wonderful feeling of sovereign peace filling your chest. It's so nice to know that the loudest voice is rarely the wisest. You don't owe your sanity to anyone else's certainty. And sooner or later, I don't know just when, perhaps sooner than you expect, you are gonna find yourself in a future situation. Later, you can do something entirely new. Next week, next month, you'll probably run into a piece of aggressive rhetoric or a situation wrapped in total uncertainty. And I wonder if you'll be pleased to notice that in an interesting way. You'll discover your body responding with absolute calm before your conscious mind can even think about it. Your unconscious will access this resource. You will take an automatic, relaxed breath. Your stomach will remain loose. You will look at the ambiguity and you will feel completely safe, completely content to say, "We'll see," and move on with your day. Very likely you'll be fascinated by how easy it is to let the world be loud while you remain perfectly quiet inside. And now it's gonna be a pleasure to bring this clear, sovereign energy back into the waking room with you. And as I count from 1 to 5, you can allow yourself to wake up completely in a way that feels beautifully refreshing. 1. Feeling the crispness of the air on your skin, noticing how grounded you feel. 2. Your unconscious mind unlocking these patterns in place, ready for future accessing. 3. Taking a wonderful, deep breath of clean air, feeling energy returning to your limbs. 4. Moving your fingers, shaking out your shoulders and feeling wide awake and clear-headed. 5. Eyes wide open, fully awake, feeling completely at ease and not needing to know it all. Welcome back. You are perfect, just as you are.